Everybody, it's me, LisaT, coming at you with some positive energy reading The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. So the last two readings were like epic as I remember. Okay, so we're going to do December 2nd, putting our life on hold. Putting our life on hold. Oh my God. I remember doing that for a decade of my life, actually. I just put kind of like life, like the progression of life, the flow of life on hold. But I was building a foundation at that time. So, I've now recognized at times when I feel like I'm in the void or like nothing is happening, I'm laying some foundation for the next level I'm about to step into. That's been my experience anyway. So let's see what it has to say. Putting our life on hold. We cannot afford to put our needs on hold, waiting for another person to fulfill us, making our life better or come around and be who and what we want that person to be. Of course. I mean, to me now, after, a whole year of this and all the other work I've done, I mean, that's just like absolutely obvious. I was talking to a friend last night and I was saying, like, we need to show up for ourselves. It's like, I can make my needs met. God will fulfill my needs. I have everything I need. And when we put it out into the universe too, like, speaking on an energetic level or a universal level, like when you're like, oh, I'm in need of that thing. I need this thing. I need this. Then the universe hears this girl always has something she needs instead of this girl has everything she wants. And, she's got her needs met. Like and then things come. But we can't put the vibe out there that I'm not getting my needs met. We get them met from ourselves and from God. Simple. So we cannot afford to of course we can't wait on someone else. We can't wait on a person. We can't wait for life to fulfill it, or we can't wait. We're not waiting on things. We have everything we need right now. So yeah, we can't afford to put our needs on hold, waiting for another person to fulfill us, making our life better or come around to be who or what we want that person to be. You need to do this before right? Like, no, gosh. That will create resentment, of course. This was like exactly a conversation I had with someone I was helping last night. So this will create resentment, hostility, and unhealthy dependency, and a mess to deal with later on. The chaos you're creating now, it's going to have a big mess later on. So yeah, when we do this too. So listen to what that's telling us. If you are trying to get a need met, like I can reflect on my father. My father just was incapable of some things, and not because he didn't love me. He loved the crap out of me. But he had so many protection mechanisms. He had so much of his own trauma. He had so much of his own stuff. His stuff was so big, he couldn't even see my stuff for what it was. He had to, deal with his own stuff. It wasn't until his dying days where everything broke down. All these protection mechanisms and all these like performance mechanisms broke down on him, so that he was able to just be authentic and show me, the things I'd always desired, long before. So, waiting on all that happened when I was like, oh, Dad, you need to say this to me for me to be okay. You need to do this for me to be okay. All it did was create resentment for my father. And there was hostility at times when I was demanding needs to be met that he couldn't meet. And yeah, we had a mess. I had to go, I remember my therapist saying, God, your father should be paying this $30,000 for therapy that it's been costing you. And that was 7 years ago. There's way more, but no, it's not on him. It's on me. So yeah, if we have decided we want a particular relationship or want to wait about making a decision in a particular relationship, then we must go on with our own life in the interim. Philip, I was talking to another friend today, different friend, and I was saying I need to fill up my own cup. Fill up what I fill up and what overflows is for me. I need to fill up, and I was suggesting that to her. This is what I do in my life. I fulfill my life with things I know what brings me joy. I know what brings me peace. I know how to fill up my own cup. And in times of when I'm feeling needy, the good news is I can overflow onto myself. I've got something to fall back on when I'm feeling a little deprived. So yeah, we can do this for ourselves. So that's why we go on with our own life. Like, have a full life. Don't make your life revolve around one person waiting. What does it say here? Waiting on a particular relationship or want to wait about making a decision in a particular relationship. Then we must go on with our own life in the interim. That can be hard. It can feel natural to put our life on hold. That is when we get caught up in the codependency beliefs. That person can make me happy. I need that particular person to do a particular thing in order to be happy. When you hear it that way, doesn't that sound insane? I need this person to do this thing so that I can be happy. Like, you know, take out, if you're someone who is doing this, take out the names, take out the situation, and just put, this person needs to do a particular thing for me to be happy. Like, write that down and look at it and see the insanity in that, and see how, oh my God, no, this is up to me. So that's a circumstance that can hook our low self-esteem or self-doubt and our tendency to neglect ourselves. So if you're doing this, if you're looking for this particular person to do a particular thing to make you happy, then you are neglecting yourself, and you're giving another person the power of your emotional stability, right? So we can get into this situation in a number of ways. We can do this, and please, I have done this my whole life. I remember doing it with an old friend. I remember doing it with my family members, doing it with cousins, with aunties, with friends, with coworkers. Like, they need to. There's one coworker specifically that I did work on. She was triggering a bunch of stuff, and she was a gift to me because she helped me heal. Because I wasn't bringing the situations to her that I needed her to change. She had to stop saying those things to me. She had to stop doing these certain things so that I wouldn't get unhappy every day. But lo and behold, thank goodness I'm in the work, because I was doing writing about it, and I recognized, oh, it's up to me. So just to say, like, I've been here, I can relate to all this, but we need to stop doing this. I recognized, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, how this stuff doesn't work when we're pointing our finger at someone else to change the way I feel. It's going to create low self-esteem. It's going to create self-doubt. It's going to create a neglect on yourself. So we can get into the situation in a number of ways. We can do this waiting for a letter, waiting for a job, waiting for a text, waiting for a phone call, waiting for a response, waiting for that thing to be said, waiting for an event to come up, waiting for that special time that you've got planned in your head. This is going to be a great time for that person to say this thing. Like, no, waiting for a person, waiting on an event. We do not have to put our life on hold. There will be repercussions for doing this. Go on with your life. Take life one day at a time, just for today. If you're suffering with this stuff, say, just for today, I am going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to find things in my life that fill me up. I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to think of someone that is, you know, less than yourself. Not less than yourself. Sorry, that was the wrong way to say it. Think of someone who is what's the word I'm looking for? Like, go volunteer at a soup kitchen. Go give to the homeless. You know, someone less privileged as yourself. Go help someone. You know, you are not a victim of this world. And do it just for today. Just for today. So what is something I could be doing now to take care of myself? Here we go. Make myself feel better. Get my needs met in an appropriate, healthy way. How can I own my power to take care of myself despite what the other person is or isn't doing? What will happen if I break the system and break taking care of myself? Sometimes we get the answer we want immediately. Sometimes we wait a while, and sometimes things don't work out exactly the way we'd hope. But things always work out for good. I've had one friend that keeps sending me messages recently that she's like, but I know it'll all work out. I know. And I'm like, yes, that a girl, because it really always does work out. I had another dark night of the soul there a couple of months ago, and you know, I call it, I went on a long-term spiritual journey, but there was also one moment where it was the dark night of the soul, and I was here in my apartment, and I was just like, my mind wouldn't leave me alone, and I laid down on my carpet, and I closed my eyes, but on my, you know, with my inner eye, I could see all the things I'd ever worried about, like my whole life, starting from A to right now. I saw them all, like, fast forward, like a movie go past, and I was like, oh, and everything has always worked out. So all these things we worry about, everything actually always works out for good, and often better than we expected. And in the meantime, we have manifested love for ourselves by living our own life and taking the control away from others. Don't give your power away. That's what they say. Don't give your power away to someone else. that always comes back to us tenfold, because when we actually manifest love for ourselves, and I know this when I went on this like hardcore self-love journey when I started this, and I remember it was around month 7 or 8, calling my therapist. I was in my kitchen and had music playing, and I called my therapist and I was like, oh my God, I found it, that thing that I've been seeking in that person and that circumstances and that achievement, that thing that I was like striving for all the time, this thing that was always out there, that I was always reaching for. I'd found it within me, the greatest love of all. And when I was in that, just things were just coming at me. I mean, I like beautiful things that I wasn't trying for, beautiful successes that I wasn't looking for, all of a sudden just started popping into my experience. So yes, the universe does tenfold give back to us, because when we actually manifest love for ourselves, we give our higher power, other people, and the universe permission to send us love we want and need. We give the permission. We stop blocking it. Stopping living our life to make a thing happen doesn't work. All it does is make us miserable, because we have stopped living our life. Here's your prayer for today. Today I will force myself, if necessary, to live my own life. I will, and you can do this even if you're in a marriage, even if you're living, even if you're like confined with someone. And I'm saying this specifically for who's watching. This person knows you can still live your own life in that. So anyways, today I will force myself, if necessary, to live my own life. I will act in my own best interest in a way that reflects self-love. If I have given power or control of my life to someone other than myself, and someone besides a power greater than myself, I will take it back. I will begin acting in my own best interests, even if it feels awkward to do that. It's not going to feel easy at first. It's something new. It's going to feel like you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. But you act, it's like, you got to do the action to change the thinking. We can't change our thinking to change our actions. We got to do the action. So even before we feel it, do it. And then your thoughts will catch up with it. Let's do that prayer one more time, nice and slow. Close your eyes. Today, I will force myself, if necessary, to live my own life. I will act in my own best interest in a way that reflects self-love. If I have given power or control of my life to someone other than myself, and someone besides a power greater than myself, I will take it back. I will begin acting in my own best interest, even if it feels awkward to do that. Amen. Thanks for watching.